On September 5, 2025, BYD's CEO Wang Chuanfu stunned the world from a podium in Shenzhen. He announced BYD would open source its next-generation EV battery and powertrain technology, giving away the company's most valuable secrets. The news sent shockwaves through the auto industry, upending decades of fierce competition and secrecy. Suddenly, the rules had changed. BYD was inviting the world to collaborate, not just compete. Stock markets reeled, competitors scrambled, and analysts questioned whether this was genius or madness. Was this corporate altruism, a strategic masterstroke, or a desperate gamble? The world watched, knowing this move could redefine transportation, economic power, and the fight against climate change. The future of the automobile, and how we all move, was suddenly up for grabs. To truly understand BYD's bold move into the electric vehicle market, you first need to know the story of their remarkable journey, a journey that began with humble origins and a vision for the future. Over the decades, BYD witnessed how the auto industry evolved and how a few key players shaped the world's roads. They saw the dominance of traditional automakers and the slow pace of change. For more than a century, automotive giants like Ford and Toyota ruled the roads, perfecting the internal combustion engine and building empires on gasoline-powered vehicles. But then, a seismic shift began: the rise of the electric vehicle. Suddenly, the heart of the car moved from the roaring engine to the silent, powerful battery, changing everything about how cars were designed and built. BYD, founded in 1995 as a small battery manufacturer in China, quietly mastered lithium-ion technology long before most automakers even realized its potential. Their expertise grew as the world was just waking up to the possibilities of electric power. When BYD entered the car business, they did something radical. They built vehicles around their battery expertise, not the other way around. This unique approach set them apart from traditional car makers who struggled to adapt. This gave BYD a massive edge. By controlling their own battery supply and driving innovation from within, they could move faster, cut costs, and ensure quality at every step. Their revolutionary blade battery set new standards for safety, durability, and cost, making electric vehicles not just a luxury, but affordable and accessible for millions of people around the world. By the early 2020s, BYD had achieved what many thought impossible. They overtook Tesla in global EV sales, becoming the world's top electric vehicle maker and a symbol of China's manufacturing prowess. Their meteoric rise proved a new truth. In the electric era, the battery is king, and BYD, with its relentless innovation and scale, was the undisputed leader of this new age. Now, as the world looks to a cleaner, electrified future, BYD stands ready to share its crown jewels, its cutting-edge technology and vision, with the world, shaping the next chapter of the EV revolution. BYD's story mirrors China's transformation: rapid growth, relentless ambition, and a knack for reinvention. Starting as a fast follower, BYD reverse-engineered products to learn quickly and scale up. But under Wang Chuanfu, they shifted to innovation, pouring resources into battery R&D while rivals clung to gasoline engines. By the time the world pivoted to electrification, BYD was already ahead, expanding into buses, trucks, and energy storage. Their affordable, stylish EVs like the Seal and Dolphin shattered stereotypes about Chinese cars. By 2024, BYD was a global force, challenging legacy automakers in Europe, Asia, and Latin America. Their ascent was a source of national pride, and a wake-up call for rivals, which made their decision to open up their technology all the more shocking. The Odyssey initiative was unveiled in a globally streamed event. Wang Chuanfu declared, "The race is not against each other, the race is against time." Effective immediately, BYD open-sourced its core patents for powertrain and blade battery technology. Any company, giant or startup, could use BYD's designs for free as long as improvements were shared back. The goal: create a global standard to accelerate EV adoption everywhere. Over 3,000 patents valued at $50 billion were now open to the world. BYD also offered technical support to help others adopt the platform. This wasn't just symbolic, it was a full commitment to radical collaboration. Wang closed, "Some will call this madness. We call it necessary. The future of our planet cannot be proprietary." BYD estimated this could cut battery costs by 30% by 2028, making EVs cheaper than gasoline cars worldwide. The industry had never seen anything like it. The market's reaction was instant chaos. BYD's stock plunged 20% as investors panicked. Decades of business logic said, lose your secrets, lose your edge. But as analysts dug deeper, a new theory emerged. BYD wasn't giving up its advantage, it was redefining it. By making its tech the global standard, BYD could become the Intel Inside of the auto world, selling components and services to everyone. Other automakers' stocks swung wildly. Battery suppliers like KTEL and LG saw their shares tumble. The entire supply chain was threatened with disruption. By Monday, BYD's stock rebounded as the market realized this was a long-term play, not corporate suicide. The Odyssey initiative wasn't just about cars, it was about reshaping a multi-trillion-dollar industry. Respect for BYD's audacity began to replace panic. BYD's move rippled far beyond Wall Street. The announcement sent shockwaves through global financial markets, with investors and analysts scrambling to predict what this could mean for the future of the automotive industry. Suddenly, the conversation wasn't just about profits, but about the shifting balance of power in the world economy. Politically, it was a masterstroke. China's leading company was now a global collaborator, not a monopolist. This strategic pivot allowed China to present itself as a willing partner on the world stage, opening doors for new alliances and joint ventures that could reshape international business. This could ease trade tensions and recast China as a climate leader. By working with other nations, China could help set new standards for clean technology, positioning itself at the forefront of the global fight against climate change. The Odyssey initiative could democratize EV manufacturing, letting countries like India or Nigeria build their own champions. Local companies could now access advanced technology, spurring innovation and competition in regions that were previously sidelined. Jobs and growth could spread to places left out of the last automotive boom. New factories would mean new opportunities, not just for engineers and technicians, but for entire communities eager for economic development. For consumers, the biggest impact: cheaper EVs, cleaner air, and quieter streets. Imagine a daily commute with less noise, less pollution, and more affordable transportation options for everyone, not just the wealthy. Oil demand could plummet, reshaping entire economies. Countries that rely on oil exports might face tough choices, while others could see energy costs drop, changing the global economic landscape in unpredictable ways. The energy grid would need a massive upgrade, creating new jobs and industries. Electric vehicles require robust infrastructure, from charging stations to renewable energy sources, sparking a wave of investment and technological progress. But there are risks. Rapid standardization could stifle innovation, and millions of workers in traditional auto jobs will need retraining. The transition could be bumpy, with uncertainty for those whose livelihoods depend on the old ways of working. The transition must be managed carefully to avoid leaving people behind. Governments, businesses, and communities will need to work together to provide support, education, and new opportunities for those affected. The benefits could be huge, but only if society adapts. Embracing change means rethinking how we live, work, and move, ensuring that progress is shared by all. The future of mobility is being rewritten, and everyone will feel the effects. Whether you're commuting to work, running errands, or traveling the world, these changes will touch every aspect of daily life, shaping a new era of transportation for generations to come. Experts across the globe are sharply divided on BYD's bold gamble, and the debate is only intensifying as the company's strategy unfolds. Some, like renowned industry analyst Dr. Alistair Finch, describe it as the biggest industrial bet in modern history. According to Finch, BYD stands at a crossroads. It could become the Microsoft of the automotive world, setting the standard for an entire industry, or it could risk everything and lose its hard-won position. Tech strategists draw parallels to Google's Android playbook. By giving away the core technology, BYD could potentially dominate the entire automotive ecosystem, just as Android did in smartphones. If BYD's platform becomes the default operating system for most cars, the company would not only control the software but also the lucrative services and hardware built on top, shaping the future of mobility. However, skeptics warn that BYD's move might be a clever smokescreen, buying time and forcing competitors to scramble, while BYD secretly develops its next technological leap behind closed doors. It's a high-stakes game of strategy and nerve. If BYD's next move falters, rivals could quickly seize the advantage and overtake them, leaving BYD vulnerable. Economists caution that this aggressive approach will squeeze profit margins across the industry, forcing automakers to compete on brand identity, design innovation, and operational efficiency, not just battery technology or raw horsepower. As competition heats up, car prices are expected to drop, making electric vehicles more accessible to consumers. But with lower prices come shrinking profits, putting pressure on even the biggest players. The move is likely to accelerate the global adoption of electric vehicles, pushing the entire industry into a rapid transition. Yet many companies, especially those slow to adapt, will find themselves struggling to survive in this new landscape. The automotive sector now faces a period of painful adjustment, with job roles, supply chains, and business models all being disrupted. But the pace of change is relentless and for many, now truly unstoppable. Around the world, investors, executives, and consumers alike are watching closely to see which companies will adapt and thrive, and which will be left behind as the industry reinvents itself for a new era. For consumers, the Odyssey initiative could finally make affordable EVs a reality. Families once priced out of the market may soon drive electric, saving money and helping the planet. The open-source model could spark new jobs and innovation in unexpected places. Imagine local EV startups in Africa or Southeast Asia. But the shift threatens millions of traditional auto jobs. Electric powertrains are simpler, requiring fewer workers. Retraining and support will be essential to avoid massive disruption. The promise of a cleaner, cheaper future must include a just transition for workers. This is about more than cars, it's about the kind of future we want. Should life-changing technology be proprietary or shared for the common good? The Odyssey initiative is a real-world test of radical collaboration, and its outcome will shape the next era. We're witnessing a turning point in automotive history. BYD's open-source gamble challenges a century of competition and secrecy. The race is now about who can best use a shared platform to deliver value. The Odyssey initiative could accelerate EV adoption, democratize manufacturing, and disrupt old business models. The risks are huge, but so are the rewards. The status quo is shattered. Every automaker must rethink their future. As consumers, workers, and citizens, we all have a stake in what comes next. The journey of the automobile is just beginning, and the road ahead has never been more open.